Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. This tutorial marks my 300th video, and so I wanted to do something really special for you guys. And I have some designs that I've created over the years that I've been hoarding and waiting for something special to do with them. And so I went through those designs and I found this bracelet here that I made a super long time ago. I'm thinking this bracelet has to be over a decade old, maybe 13 years old, maybe 14, 15 years old. It's been such a long time. So this bracelet I designed when I first started getting into designing bead weaving projects. I want to say this is one of my first bead weaving projects that I ever made. And back then I didn't have a lot of colors to work with. I just had the basic colors, so white, black, clear, brown, stuff like that. I didn't have very colorful beads, and I didn't have the stores and places to go and get them because I was like a kid when I designed this bracelet. And I remember that when I designed this bracelet, it was a time-consuming project, so I only made 2 of these bracelets. I gave one to my sister, and I kept this one. And it's a very fun project, and what I really love about this bracelet is it's made with all seed beads, 6/0 seed beads and 11/0s, and the pattern is just so cool. It's really pretty. Now, since I made this bracelet, I have really become addicted to playing with colors and laying out the colors in different ways and making a design look like a completely different design just by playing with the colors. And so I just made these 2 this week. This one here is really pretty. I'm really loving this one. It looks like it's an old bracelet. And I made this one too. This one's also really fun. Bright colors. And by the way, again, these are all made the same exact way. I just changed the colors. Now this one here, these beads in this bracelet aren't the best quality beads. They're not a special name brand. These here I used check seed beads and a few Miyuki. The metallic colors were Miyuki, and the other colors are all check. So this one here was a no-name brand seed bead that I used, and I just sifted through the seed beads and I tried to pick out the ones that were uniform. And the 11/0 seed beads, I actually want to say that they're a little bit bigger, and I think the 6/0 seed beads are a little bit bigger too. Like I said, they're off. And so when I went to make this bracelet, I realized that I was going to have to make this longer than this one because these beads are bigger. When I put this beside this bracelet, do you see how much longer this one is? So this has 7 patterns in it, so not looking at the 7th one, this one here only has 6. Look how much longer this bracelet is. So this is something you're going to have to keep in mind when you go to work on this project. If you're using seed beads that aren't a brand name like Check, if you're not using Miyuki, Toho, if you're using the cheaper seed beads and you're picking out the uniform ones, you might have to go with 6 for your bracelet. And these ones here I went with 7. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you the list of materials. I'm really super excited about this project. I hope you're going to love it. And by the way, I do have a matching ring for this bracelet. I hopefully will be able to film it today, but I don't know because this is a long process to film a bracelet like this. So I might have to film the bracelet the ring another day. But be on the lookout for the matching ring for this bracelet. Here's the list of materials you will need to make this bracelet. You will need to cut 8 feet of 8-pound fireline. Now let's say you don't have fireline. You can use monofilament to make this bracelet. I made this one with monofilament. You can use either a 6-pound monofilament or an 8-pound. You will also need 2 size 10 beading needles. I'm using tulip. And you will need 6/0 seed beads, and I'm using 3 colors for this bracelet, but you can use as many colors as you want. These 2 I used several different colors. This one I only used 1 color of 6/0 seed beads. You're also going to need 11/0 seed beads. For the bracelet I'm making in the video, I'm using 2 different colors of 11/0s, and again, you can use as many colors as you want. You're also going to need either jump rings or split rings. Now I'm using stainless steel jump rings. They're really strong, durable, they're hard to open, so I use them for a bracelet like this. I also have a stainless steel lobster claw here, but if you're doing a clasp like this, that's not stainless. If you don't have stainless steel jump rings and you want to use split rings, then you have to remember to always put your split rings on as you're picking your beads up for your loop here, because the jump rings, they can be added at any time, but your split rings, you have to put those on as you're picking your beads up. Okay, so this is the list of materials, and I will always put the list down there in the description bar below the video, along with links and other things, so make sure you check that out. I went ahead and I put my thread onto my needles, and I made sure that my thread is even on both sides. There, it's even. Okay, so I'm going to start by picking up 7 11/0 seed beads. And this is going to be the loop for my clasp. Now again, if you're working with split rings, go ahead, pick up your split ring now, but I'm not. I'm working with jump rings. These will be added on when I finish tying knots to my bracelet. So I just have my seed beads there. I'm going to slide those down. And now I'm going to pick up this bead here, the 6/0. This is going to be my cross through bead. So I crisscross both of my needles through that bead. I put my needles together, make sure they are even, and I bring this down to the very center of my thread, so that I have this little loop here. Okay, just making sure this is even, and this is what you should have. Now I'm going to pick up 1 11/0 on each needle, and then 1 6/0 on each needle, 1 11/0 on each needle, just like this. Slide that down, and then I'm going to pick up the center bead. This is going to be for this here, actually back here, starting here. It's going to be for right here, that center color. Okay, so I have this purple Picasso. I'm going to crisscross through this bead and bring it down. So that now I have what looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my second seed bead color, which is the silver. So I'm going to pick up 1 on each needle, and then I'm going to pick up my second 6/0 color, and then I'm going to go to my other 11/0, and then I'm going to go back to this color here, and again I'm doing 1 on each needle. Now, if you want, you could do 1 needle at a time, but sometimes I like to do both. Okay, and I'm going to show you what I have on there. So each needle has this bead pattern on it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and slide all the beads down. Okay, now I'm going to split my strings and do one side at a time. So now I have this, okay? So what I'm going to do is hold this bead like this, take this needle and pass through here. This is creating a circle, okay? And I'm just going to slide the circle down like that. And now I have to do the same thing on this side. Passing through here, just the 6/0, holding that bead in place and pulling my thread through. Okay, so slide these down, and now I have this. So the whole thing about this bracelet is there is a 11/0 seed bead in between each 6/0 seed bead. So see how the 6/0s aren't really touching each other, because there's an 11/0 between them. Okay, so now I have this. My threads are exiting out of these purple beads there. I'm going to pick up a silver 11/0 on each side. I'm caught on my cord over here, my cell phone cord. Okay, an 11 each side, and then my purple color here, I'm going to cross through it. Just like this. Now, when I pull this bead down, I grab the sides here, they're like little wings, and I pull on these. Pulling on these tightens this up if it's loose. Okay, so now it's all tight and it looks like this. So I have to make this part here on this side. So I'm going to pick up an 11/0 on each needle, and then 6/0 on each needle, an 11/0 each needle. Slide those down, and then I'm going to pick up another 6/0 and cross through it. Okay, so now I've completed bullet tight, one of the patterns. Okay, so showing you right here, this is what I did. Now there's this little spot in between here that breaks these up, so I'm going to do that next, and then I'm going to repeat this again. So the spot where I break the pattern up, I use a different color 6/0 seed bead. So I'm going to put an 11/0 on each needle, and then I'm going to do this silver 6/0, and then another 11/0, like that. Slide those down, and then I'm going to cross through a 6/0 seed bead in my turquoise color. I'm getting caught on my desk. I'm so sorry I'm out of frame, but really you're not missing anything. I'm just stuck, that's all. Okay, so I slid those beads down, and now I have this. So this here is breaking up the pattern. Now I'm going to repeat this again, okay? So this is what I have right now. Now I'm going to pick up an 11/0 on each needle, and then a 6/0 on each needle, 11/0 again, and then I'm going to pick up my second color of 6/0s, this purple one here, crisscross through this bead. And it helps if you hold the bead that you're crisscrossing through in one hand, and then swap hands and do the same thing with the other hand. Okay, now I have this, so I'm in the center now, okay? So this is the point where I pick up a silver on each needle, and then my center bead, this one here, and then blue 11/0 on each needle, and then my 6/0. And I just keep repeating this little pattern. So now I have this on each needle, okay? 4 6/0 seed beads. It's important to have 4. Slide them all down. So now that I have this, okay, I'm going to separate my needles, do one side at a time, hold it like this, grab this bead here, pass the needle through here, making a circle, okay, just like that. I'm going to lay this down and do the other side. Just pass through the 6/0 seed bead, again hold that in place, pull the needle through, okay, and then you want to grab these and slide them down. Just like that. Now I'm going to pick up an 11/0 on each side, silver color. The beads do not want to stay on my needle today. And then a purple, crisscross through the purple. Bring it down. Okay, and again, when you pull that bead down, you have to grab these two sides here. Pull these as you're pulling your threads tight. It just tightens everything up. Okay, and this is now what we have. Really pretty. I love these colors. They're gorgeous. Okay, so now I have to finish this side here. So I'm going to pick up one blue 11-0 seed bead on each needle, and then my 6-0 on each side, and then my 11-0. You know, this color here is called matte black AB, and I don't know why, because it's not black, it's blue. Okay, so that's there is my pattern, and then I'm going to pick up another 6-0 to cross through and hold that bead in place and just pull the threads through here. Okay, and now I have this. I have two of them complete, and there is the spot where I break up the pattern. So I have to do this again. I'm breaking up the pattern. So on each needle, I'm going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead. So do you see what I mean? By there is an 11-0 seed bead in between all of the 6-0 seed beads. It's all broken up. Okay, so 11-0 each needle, and then I'm going to pick up my 6-0 in the silver and an 11-0 on each needle again. Just like that. And then my cross through bead, this one here, and crisscross through. Now this bracelet I'm making is a different pattern, the color pattern, than the other ones I've done. So see, this one here I used a bunch of different colors, but you could see how just by changing the pattern, the color pattern, you get a different looking bracelet. It's really cool. Alright, so now I have this. Again, make sure you pull it tight as you go. I'm going to be repeating this again. I'm going to keep going, doing this pattern, repeating these steps over and over. This is what I have so far. I'm going to do 7 of these. The beads I'm using in this bracelet are check seed beads and Miyuki, and so I found that I need 7 of them to get an 8-inch bracelet. This bracelet here is also 8 inches, but because these beads were larger, they're off name brand, I only had to do 6 of these. So this bracelet here doesn't really shrink, by the way, when you go and fill in the sides like a lot of the ring bands I make. This does not shrink. Okay, so go ahead, and once you get, you know, making 6 of them, go ahead, try it on, see if it fits you. Remember, you will need about an inch, 3/4 of an inch to an inch for your clasp. So I'm just going to keep going doing this, and if you have any problems, just rewind the video, and I'm just repeating these same steps over and over, and I'll come back and show you what to do next. I kept on going, and I'm now ready to add my little loop here for the rest of my clasp, and I just want to tell you guys, make sure that you go back and check that you have an 11-0 seed bead in between all of the 6-0 seed beads, and just make sure that you don't have an extra seed bead or a seed bead in the wrong color, because I have done that. I've completed this part, and then I started doing the other part, adding more beads, and I'm like, oh, I put a bead there, so I had to take it apart, which isn't a big deal. You just take your needles off and you slide the beads down, and then you can go ahead and continue working, fixing your problem. You don't have to cut it apart as long as there's no knots tied. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back out, and we're going to add the loop here. So that's 7 seed beads that I have in this loop, and remember, if you're working with split rings, you want to go ahead and pick that up with your 7 seed beads. Okay, so here are my 7 seed beads. I'm going to slide these down and pass my needle, my other needle, crisscrossing through these beads, just like that, and bring these beads down. Okay, now I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to pass through this 6-0. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around, and then I'm going to take my other needle and pass through the 6-0. Okay, so we actually have 2 threads going through here, so I'm just going to tighten this up. Okay, so I have this, so I want to pull these beads right here tight. You can pull these tight and then come back and pull these tight. Alright. Okay, now we're ready to continue on. Now I'm going to take my needle and pass through this 11-0 seed bead, the one that is between the 2 6-0 seed beads, not the seed beads in the loop here, but the one in between the 2 6-0s. Pass through that bead there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, because if I don't, I'm going to forget it later. I kept doing that in the other bracelets. So it's this seed bead right here, the one that's in between the 2 6-0s. Okay, then go ahead and pull that tight on each side. And now I'm going to work on one side at a time. I'm going to pick up 6 11-0 seed beads. Now here's the thing. When I did this bracelet, I told you guys that, you know, I made this super duper long time ago. And these beads, I feel like they are larger. They're not actually 6-0s and 10-0s. I think they're more of 5-0s and 12-0s because they're off, so they're bigger. So when I went to do this part here where I'm adding the seed beads on the side here, I had to do 5 seed beads in this one. But in this bracelet, because I'm using smaller seed beads, these are, I think, were Miyuki, I have to use more seed beads, so I have to use 6. So go ahead and see how many you would have to use for this part. If you're using an off-name brand, like I said, you probably won't have to use as many. So my pattern is, I'm screwing this up, it's 1 of blue, 1 silver, 2 of these here, and then this one. I think this is my pattern. Yeah, 6 seed beads, just like that, 11-0s, okay? Coming out of this bead, I'm going to go in through this 11-0, the 6-0, and the 11-0. And I try to do it all in one shot because it just makes it faster. Just like that. Pull this through. And it's going to make a circle. That's what we're doing. We're making a circle around this pattern here. So again, pick up an 11-0. Well, you're picking up 6 11-0s, 5 or 6, depending on your size of your beads, the brand of your beads. But just go ahead and make your pattern up. This is the pattern that I like. Okay. Coming from here, I'm going to pass in through this 11-0. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go through the 6-0 and through that 11-0. So I'm going at an angle. Do you see that? I'm going through these beads at an angle. So now this side here is ready to go around the silver beads. Okay, pull that through. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over because now I'm on this side of the bracelet. Make sure you pull it tight. You don't want to see any thread exposed. You should now have this. So now I'm over here, and I'm going to pick up 5 11-0 seed beads. This time I'm going to pick up 2 of one color, 1 of my other color, and 2 again of this color. So I have this, okay, 5. Coming out this bead, I'm going to pass through this 11, the 6, and through the next 11, just like that at an angle. Okay, pull this through. And we should now have this, and as you can see it's a little loose there, so I'm just going to turn it and pull it tight. Okay, now I have this. So now I'm going to swap my needles. Let's see, I'll put this one up here out of the way. I'm going to take my other needle, this one here, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And because of how this bracelet is, you do get tangled up quite a lot in the thread. It's not as bad with fireline though. When I was doing this with monofilament, it was really annoying. It was very aggravating. Okay, so now I'm on this side, and I have to do the same thing I just did here on this side. So basically what we're doing, the motion that we're doing, is a figure 8. It's just an endless figure 8 going like this through the whole bracelet all the way to the end. We're doing this figure 8 motion. Okay, right there I am picking up my 6 11-0s. Just like that, coming out of this bead that's in between the 2 6-0s, passing my needle through this 11, the 6, and the 11. And again, I try to get it all in one shot. If I can't get it all in one shot, if I just at least get to these 2, pull the needle through, and then pass through that 11, and then pull all the thread through at one time. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, it's starting to look like a circle here. Again, I'm going to pick up my 6 11-0 seed beads. Okay, just like that. Coming out of here, I'm going to go in through this 11, the 6, and that 11. Just like that. Pull this through. Okay, and I'm going to turn this around. And there we go, that's what we have so far. Okay, I'm going to do 5 seed beads. 2 of this color, 1 of this color, and 2 again of this one. Coming out here, I'm going to go in through this 11, through the 6, and through the next 11. Just like that at an angle. Okay. And then I'm going to tidy up all my thread here because I'm a little tangled up. And now I'm just going to pull everything tight, making sure that I don't have any thread exposed. Okay, and I'm going to continue on. So again, I'm going to pick up 6 11-0 seed beads. Just like that. From here, I'm going to pass through these 3 beads. Pull that tight, and I'm going to repeat that again. 6 again. From here, I'm going to go through these 3, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this over because now I'm on the other side of the bracelet. And I'm going to pick up 5. Coming out here, I'm going to go through this seed bead, the 6-0, and through that seed bead. just like that, at an angle. Now I can flip it over and continue on making another loop here, but I do like to swap back and forth just to make sure that the tension is even on each side, because sometimes I feel like when I make a bracelet like this, if I stay on just one side and do all the beading all the way to the end and then I go to the other side, the tension is off. So I like to swap back and forth in between them. So I'm just going to go ahead and do around this pattern here, and then I'll swap to my other needle. So again, I'm picking up 6 11s in my 2 different colors. I'm coming out of here, I'm going to pass through here. Now this is what I meant earlier. Now let's say you can't get through that bead, you can't do all 3 at one time. Just take the needle, pass through those 2, and then go through the bead like this, okay? And then pull all the thread through at one time. It just makes it a little bit easier, okay? So now, you might think my pattern's weird that I'm picking up, but I'm just going to point this out to you. So I picked up one of these, okay, the silver, 2 of those, the silver, and then one of those. Now when I put all this through, I pull it down. Do you see that I now have 2 of these? One of those, 2 of those, one of those, 2 of those. This bead is touching that one, so it's making it the pattern look nicer. So that's why I'm picking the pattern up this way. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this again right here. 6 11-ohs, passing through this 11, 6, and the 11, just like that. Pull it on through. Okay, I'm now going to swap to my other needle and do this side. Okay, now for this side, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just doing it on the other side of the bracelet. So see here, there's a gap right there. It's loosening up. So I have to make sure that I pull that tight. Go ahead, pick up my 6 seed beads. So just keep going doing this, adding your 11-oh seed beads to get all the way down here, and I'll show you what to do next. I went ahead and I finished filling in the sides like I told you I was going to do, and now I'm down here and I'm going to pick up the last beads with you. But I just want to show you guys, when you fill in the sides, this is a little bunched up, it's not completely flat. To fix that, all you do is just grab it at the ends and pull it like this a little bit, just a little, don't pull it really hard. But you'll feel the beads relax and then pop into place. Okay, so now I'm going to finish this up over here. So I already have my last 6 seed beads on. I'm coming out of this bead. I'm going to go in through this 11-oh and through the 6-oh. Like that. Pass the needle through. Pull it tight. I'm going to pull both sides tight now. So I only have 1 thread that's passing through this loop right now, and I need to reinforce this. Go through it maybe 3 to 4 times so that it's durable when I put my clasp on. Now here's the thing. I started down here. Yeah, this is where I started at, okay? And I went in this direction, working with 11-ohs and the 6-oh seed beads. And then I came down here and I turned around and I went back down this way. So I think I have 2 thread paths on this side. This side only have 1 right now. So I have to reinforce this side, okay? And then I'm going to go back down in the sides, filling in the gaps, and then I'll come down here and I'll reinforce this more, okay? So like I said, right now I only have 1 thread path. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass through all 6 of these again. Now this is the last time I will be able to reinforce this end because I'm not coming back down to this end. Once I finish reinforcing this and I go down here, that's it. I'm not coming back to this side. So it's best to do it all now. So I'm going to pass through the 6/0. Oops, I skipped a bead. I don't know how I did that. Okay, right here through this 11 and the 6. Okay, now I'm going to go to this needle, flip this over, and reinforce with this side here. Passing through all the beads again. And then I'm going to go back through the 6/0 again. Pull this tight. Okay, let's see. How many more thread paths can I make? Alright, I'm going to do it again. One on each side. Take the needle. One more time on each side is what I'm trying to say. Go back down through here. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm not going to go through the 6/0. I'm going to go to my other needle now. On this one, I'm coming out of the 6/0, so I'm going to pass up through the 11s. Okay, through all the seed beads here. And I'm going to come out the 11 right there, those two 11s. So now I've passed through here several times. This is really reinforced and it's strong, and now I have to weave back into my bracelet. So to do that, I'm not going to go through the 6/0. I'm going to make a new thread path here and here, because if this bead were to break, you know, we're going to lose our bracelet. So it's going to be hanging on by just a few threads. So to make this stronger, so not all the weight is on this bead, I'm going to take my needle and pass through this 11/0 here, going in this direction. But we might just have to do that one 11/0 right there in that corner. And then I can pass through the other ones, because it's kind of a sharp turn right there to go through so many beads at one time. So I'm going to pass through all of these 11/0s and the 6/0. Okay, we're repositioning our needle now. I'm going to pass through these seed beads here, and I want to come out right there in the middle of those two. Okay, just like that. I'm now going to swap my needles and do the same thing on this side. Through this seed bead that's in the corner. Pull that tight, and then I'm going to go through all of these. Okay, position my needle here, and right here, this is where I want to be Xing out of. Okay. So this is what you should have right now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up silver seed bead, my 6/0 in the purple, and a silver seed bead. This is going to be the pattern that I'm going to be picking up, and I'm going to be putting these beads right here. So I'm going to take my needle and pass through that center 11/0. Okay, pull that through. It's going to pop into place. I'm going to pick that pattern up again. Now I do want to let you know, in my first original design, I did not put 6/0 seed beads here. I actually did all 11/0s. And I will show you. So I'm passing through there. Okay. So now I have this. So I have to keep going, repositioning my needle so I get to the next spot to add my seed beads. Right here I am. Okay, so that's what I have so far. So I'm going to go to this one and show you what I'm talking about. So right here, this is where we're adding the 2 11s and the 6/0 in this spot. On this one I just did 11s, so you could see how different that looks. So it's up to you if you want to do a 6/0 there or not. I just chose to do the 6/0 because I did think it looks much prettier with the 6/0s. Okay, so I'm just going to continue picking up an 11, a 6, an 11. Right here I am. I'm going to take the needle, pass through that bead, pick up another 11, 6 and 11, and I'm passing through right here in between these two. Okay, and through the 6/0 there. And then through these seed beads, repositioning my needle. Okay, so now I have this side. And I'm going to stop and go to my other needle because I want you to see what it looks like. Okay, so again, an 11, a 6, and an 11. Coming out of here, I'm going to pass through this bead. Again. Right here I am. I'm going to go in between these two. And I have to reposition till I get to the next point where I have to add my beads. Okay, it's a little tight there, so I can only go through one at a time in that spot. Alright, so right here's where I want to add more beads. Going through right here. One more time. Right here I am. I'm going to pass through these two. And then I have to reposition my needle again. Okay, now I'm ready to pick up more beads. So I'm just going to keep going, adding these beads in until my whole bracelet looks like this. It's going to be really pretty. I'm loving it. So just keep going doing this, and I'll show you what to do when you get to the end. I kept on going, filling in the sides, and now I'm down here and I just have this one little area to do, and I was going to do it with you guys just to make sure you're not lost on what I'm doing. So I have my last 3 beads here. Coming out of here, I'm going to pass in between these two like I have been doing. Okay. And I'm going to pass through all of these beads here on the side. Now I've already been through this twice. I can see there's 2 thread paths in there. So what I'm going to do is I have to get through this bead here in the corner. Okay. And then I'm going to go straight up through the seed beads. I'm not going to go through the 6/0. Go through these. And then I'm going to go down right there. Okay. I'm going to swap over to my other needle and do the same thing. Repositioning. We're getting in position to tie knots, and we have to reinforce the end. Okay, so doing the same thing, I'm going to go up this bead in a corner. Through all of these. One more here. Okay, so now both of our threads are Xing out of the same beads on opposite sides. Okay, so now I have a lot of thread going through there. That's perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave back down through the outer edge of my bracelet. So I'm going through those beads that I was just into, but I'm swapping sides. Okay. I'm going to come out right here before the 6/0. And I'm going to do the same thing with this needle. Let's see. There I am. I gotta go through this bead. And then through all of these 11s. These two here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch one of my needles, because I don't want to lose it. My thread's getting short, and I'm going to start tying my half-hitch knots. Half-hitch notches, good grief. Half-hitch knots. I like to tie them in front of the 6/0 seed beads, and what I do, as you can see, this is how long my thread is, which is perfect for tying this off. I go along the side, and I tie a knot in front of a 6/0 seed bead, and then I pass through all of these beads, come out in front of the next 6/0, tie a knot there, pass through there, go through these, and I just tie a knot in front of each 6/0 seed bead. And I go as far as I can doing this because it really tightens up this bracelet. It makes it durable. It's going to last a very long time, and I just go as far as I can. And the other ones that I did, I actually went all the way down and came out here and then trimmed my thread off. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how to tie a half-hitch knot just in case you've never done it before. So I'm right here coming out of this 11/0, passing through that hole there, making a loop. I pass through the loop twice. Some people do it one time. I like to do it twice if I can. It's more secure. Okay, and then I pull that knot down, and then I pass through the 6/0, through all of these 11s just like that. And I go through here, this hole in the bottom, and I tie another knot. Okay, and slowly bring it down so that your knot falls in the right place. There it is. So then I just keep going. This really does make the bracelet more durable and last a lot longer when you tie a bunch of knots like this and you secure the sides. So I'm just going to keep going, tying my half-hitch knots all the way down here. Like I said, I'll trim the thread off, and then I'll take the needle off of this thread, I'll put it onto the other thread, and I'll do the same thing, going down here, tying a knot in front of each 6/0 seed bead. Now, the last thing to do when you get done tying all your knots is to put the clasp on if you're using jump rings like I am. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on. These stainless steel jump rings are super duper strong. They're hard to bend. Okay, so I just want to show you guys. Put my clasp on here. Okay, just like that. Now I just have to put the jump ring on the other side and we'll be all done. It's pretty cool. I love this bracelet. This is it. I hope you enjoyed my 300th video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so you get notified when I upload new videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry you've made from my videos on my Facebook page and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.